We have had another very busy week here at the farm, but there is some rain in the forecast for this afternoon, which is a very welcome sight. This spring and early summer was a very wet one, so we were thinking we were going to have a really great growing season and be able to graze our cattle well into the winter months. But the rain shut off in mid-July and has been a super dry late summer and early fall. But fortunately, we still have a lot of cover crops for our cattle to graze, and it was a good year for hay, so there is plenty of that available in our area as well. So thankfully, our cows are plenty good for the winter months to come. My plan for today is to get out to the garden to harvest what I can and get my chores done before the rain sets in. This way I can spend the rainy afternoon preserving some of these jalapeno peppers that we have so many of in our garden right now. Last week I shared how this farm started and how I was able to purchase the land from my grandpa when I was 21 years old. Now I want to share the rest of that story and how we have made a shift towards regenerative agriculture and growing our direct-to-consumer meat business. As with everything in farming, there is a slow return on your investment, but working towards this goal over the past several years and staying focused on what our future plans are, we have been able in recent years to make a profit off of our small farm. In the beginning, we were operating on the commodity market, which means we were running our farm in a very conventional way and selling our cattle at the local livestock sale barn, taking whatever prices they brought that week. And at first that worked out, but then when the cattle prices shifted downwards and input costs went up, we had to change the way we were operating in order to keep moving forward. We quickly realized overhead costs and cattle prices that were beyond our control was no longer a way to sustain this farm long term. We knew we would need to run our farm in a different way and sell our animals differently as well. During this time, my husband and I had the opportunity to visit Polyface Farms in Virginia, owned by Joel Salatin. This farm is a beautiful picture of regenerative agriculture and selling everything they raise direct to consumers. We went for what was called a grazing conference and learned so much that we knew this was going to be the direction we would take our own farm. That conference was in the fall, and we came home with some serious goals for the next summer. So that fall and winter, we got to work. We set up some basic infrastructure so that we could rotationally graze our cattle in the summertime. We also built a couple chicken tractors so that we could get meat chickens to raise as well. We knew we wanted to also raise meat chickens on our farm because of how beneficial they are for the pastures, and we've also had a fair amount of customers asking for it already. We, of course, started reading a lot of books, listening to a lot of different podcasts, and just taking in all the knowledge that we could about regenerative farming and more sustainable practices. I also dove into learning all I could about marketing our products direct to consumers. That next summer, we started rotationally grazing our cattle herd, got our first round of meat chicks to raise in our chicken tractors, and decided to sell more than just bulk beef portions, but to now get beef by the cut and chicken and take it to the local farmers market every Saturday. It was a very busy summer, but we were passionate about what we were doing, and we knew that this was the direction we wanted to continue to take our farm for the future. As time went on, we learned more and more about raising chickens and raising cattle in a rotational grazing system. We now have a lot more infrastructure in place, and it's definitely something we're going to continue to build on. That next winter, I was pregnant with our first child, and I was looking for ways to fill my time on those long winter days. That is when I really dove into the online side of our business and learning how to build a website. I signed up for a few online courses to learn more about marketing, how to build my own website through Shopify, and I also took 2 courses on how to ship frozen products. I was seeing other farmers on Instagram using their social medias to help the consumers feel more connected to their food source and then also being able to ship their meat over state lines. I knew that was something I was really wanting to try to figure out to do as well. I definitely still have a lot to learn, but it felt like the right way to spend my time that winter because I wasn't sure how much longer going to a farmer's market every Saturday during the busy season would be sustainable. The way the conventional system of agriculture is set up makes it very hard for small scale farmers to earn a profit. I quickly learned that if I wanted to compete on the commodity market, I would have to scale up my production, which was not possible with my acre base and level of cash flow. So instead, I focused on what I could do on my small farm and ways to operate with a lower overhead by doing things more naturally and regeneratively. Then taking what I was raising and setting my own prices by selling my meat directly. It seems like a lot more farmers are shifting to this style of operating, which I believe is a great thing. I also think consumers are shifting towards wanting to feel more connected to their food source as well, which is also a great thing because that's why farmers like me are able to sell our products directly. I hope you enjoyed hearing more about our farm's shift into a more regenerative style of agriculture and selling our meat locally and directly to the consumer. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to sharing more from our farm.